Today we'll be taking a look at the single best support build in Remnant 2. Not only that, but it is the best medic build, best summoner build, and by far the best tank build. How is this possible, you ask? Well, we are going to go over the full build here, but it revolves entirely around exploiting healing efficiency and max health. Because it seems that the more health you have, the faster your high healing efficiency can keep you healed. Then we use the Resonating Heart to get the best possible healing in the game, and boom, you can survive 99.9% of attacks. Oh, and this also gets applied to your summons and allies, making it the single best co-op build as you can keep any player alive forever. This is the Corrupted Root Doctor, and how you can beat Apocalypse with literally zero effort. So this build's really simple and very customizable. As far as the footage, I just completed a full Apocalypse campaign run with my brother who ran an elemental damage build. He had nothing on for better healing and will be kept alive through any attack, same as me, but he never used a relic. The prime class for this build must be Medic. This grants better healing efficiency so that we can out-heal damage, infinite relics as Medic gains a relic back when he heals himself or allies, and healing allies when you use a relic. The relic use speed does get increased, which makes you a relic popping machine. You can run whatever skill you like, as it won't be needed most of the time. However, I noticed Healing Shield was best if you forget to take a relic now and then, and the Redemption skill was overall the most useful, because on the off chance that your ally does go down, you can just instantly get them back up without the long revive time. Your subclass is going to be Summoner, granting an increase of 35% damage to mod and skills when a minion is active. Pretty much everything is useful here as we get much better healing if the summon dies, and your relic will buff minions, granting them much more damage. As we will be taking a relic every 15 seconds, this is going to last forever. For the skill, I like to run Reaver. The big behemoth is not really that useful in most builds because he won't survive long, but here, we make him unkillable, so his high damage output wipes everything for us. He can also be damaged or poisoned by you if you need to regen a relic real quick. The synergy between Medic and Summoner are nuts, as they provide the best possible healing, and Healer is one of the only ways to keep minions alive in harder modes. As for armor, you want what is the best defense, Leto's Mark II with the Archon gloves. For whatever reason, these gloves give more defense than Leto's, and it looks pretty good too. We are going to need to take as much damage as possible in order for this to work, as otherwise there's no way to keep our relic charges up, and being as defensive as possible makes your healing top off the more powerful hits. Now for the one main item that makes this build work, the Resonating Heart. This grants healing upon use, but after 5 seconds, it will double that healing for the next 20 seconds. What this means is that you use the relic, and then after 5 seconds, you are immortal. Any attack will be healed instantly due to the medic's better healing efficiency. How do you keep this up? Take a relic every 15 seconds. As soon as you see the buff under your health and stamina reach 6 seconds, pop a relic, and then you always have that active. This heart grants such a high amount of healing that it will look like you're completely immune to damage altogether. As for relic fragments, you want healing effectiveness, health, and armor effectiveness. All three are perfect for this build, and at mythic level, add massive percentage boosts. As for weapons, you can literally run anything you want. Try and get as much damage as possible, but that's about it. I'd highly recommend the Stonebreaker sword for your melee, as it has a charge attack with significant damage and reach. Also, this happens to be one of the highest damaging melee options, so you can tank all hits and dish out damage on bosses. I'd highly recommend the Steadfast Mutator as it prevents interruption during charge attacks. Because we can't die, but still get staggered by heavy attacks, this can negate that stagger altogether. Also, you gain a 20% damage reduction when doing so, which can be used to survive attacks that might actually kill you. The only attack in the entire game I died by was Venom's Spear Lunge at the end of the game. This probably could have saved me, but through the entire campaign, that was the only attack. As for your sidearm, you need to run Nebula. The damage is great, and the mod puts in a lot of work all by itself. But the kicker is damage over time. If you hit your summon with this, or any allies, it will damage them. Because we are healing our allies, this will slowly regenerate our relics, even when out of combat. You can also just shoot the summons, but this lasts a while and lets you keep playing without stopping to do that. Run Harmonizer as your mutator and it increases mod damage, which damage is the only crutch of this build, so get as much as you can. One aspect of this I have not mentioned yet is health. To get this to work properly, you need as much health as possible. So the Resonating Heart can make you immortal by healing that massive pool quickly. This cuts our damage down, but will grant you a playstyle that requires no dodging at all. I ran Rusted Navigator's Pendant as it grants 15 health and stamina, as well as removing just enough encumbrance for us to not flop dodge. Burden of Divine reduces your damage by 10%, but adds 50% of self-healing to all allies. This takes your immortality and gives it to your entire team, making your build the single best co-op build, as your buddy can go all out on damage and still tank every hit due to your massive healing power. Just make sure to keep the Relic going constantly and no one will ever die. Ring of Robust increases max health by 10 and armor by 15. The extra armor also makes us extremely tanky on top of the Relic efficiency. Seal of the Empress increases max health by 20 and reduces max stamina by 10. Annoying to have less stamina, but our amulet does make up for it, and we need that good jump in health. Dead King's Memento increases health by 15. As you can see, all of these increase our health except Burden of the Divine that keeps our allies and summons alive. You have a massive HP pool with huge armor. I mean, you can see the footage yourself. Nothing matters. The game's a joke. You run through the entire thing doing whatever you want because stuff cannot kill you. One issue when running Apocalypse difficulty is bosses can get random affixes, or buffs. One called Empathy will actually heal the boss when you take a relic, and it's a pretty significant heal for the boss. This is awful, as the fight can take over 10 minutes without a DPS build to back you up. However, me and my bro, who's only played through the game once with very little equipment, beat 4 to 5 bosses that had this affix. As long as you can't die, you can heal through anything and just keep blinking away until the job gets done. Even enemies who have grab attacks that should one-hit kill you normally, they don't even touch you. Now, as far as traits go, I think this is the best couple of options to go with. Fortify to make your armor work better and grant some better defense. Regrowth to generate your health at an insane rate. Triage to increase healing by 50%, which is where that unkillable healing comes from. Vigor, as health is key here, and then Endurance, Spirit, and Expertise, like always. I like to have Bark Skin for an extra 10% damage reduction, and Glutton, so that taking your Relic happens in about a second. Glutton is actually huge, as the Relic will be used constantly, and this gets you back to shooting much faster. You might be thinking, oh, well, I want some more defensive traits, but even so, you don't need them. This build with this specific setup will never die, and to make sure of it, buy some Mudtooth's Tonic, granting an extra 25 health that lasts for 60 minutes. Keep a bunch in your inventory and have the buff active at all times. Just to make it clear what we're doing, here's a checklist to go over. Resonating Heart so that you can double healing, max stats for defense, Medic to heal better than ever thought possible, Summoner for more damage and help in fights, Burden of the Divine Ring to heal allies as well as yourself, and as much health as you can get to make the healing efficiency scale properly. How do you use this build? Do whatever the heck you want. As long as you take the Resonating Heart every 15 seconds, your summons and allies will take enough damage to grant you infinite relics, and both you and them become immortal. Yes, you don't need to dodge, don't need to have good damage, don't even need a brain. This is an extremely easy way to beat the game on the hardest difficulty. But honestly, it's still really fun, because support builds don't always feel that great in video games, and this makes support better than everything in the game. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. I wouldn't have believed this build existed if I hadn't tried it, and it works like a madman. You can take a full team of summons, players, and heck, even Engineer's Turret, and none of you will ever die. On the off chance that someone does happen to go down, you can just get them back up instantly with your healing skill. When me and my brother did this, it took about 4 hours to walk from the beginning of Apocalypse to the very end. This is a crazy cool support build that you will definitely have a lot of fun with. And it also means that anybody can beat Apocalypse, regardless of skill level. If you did enjoy the video, I do appreciate you watching and would love a quick like down below. Remnant 2 builds are really fun to put together, and this one feels like a masterpiece. Here's the full build for your convenience, and I'll catch you next time.